Hi everyone, how are you all? Okay. Um, SBR Strategic Business Reporting. Obviously, some of you would know that if you guys, any one of you, is a second attempter, you would know what the paper is about. You would know uh, probably how to prepare for the paper partially, or But for those who are new to this paper, guys, this paper is professional paper. You know that obviously because we know the series of paper in ACCA, right? It's an essential paper. It's not an option. You have to give it along with SBL. Um, strategic business reporting used to be, this paper was called P2, corporate reporting. Okay, so like 2 years back, it changed to SBR. Okay. Now the thing is, corporate reporting. Why did the name change from corporate reporting to SBR, strategic business reporting? You see, corporate reporting is very restricted to the accounting element for corporations. Okay, strategic business reporting is more of, it's accounting. There's no doubt about it. It's an advanced paper of financial reporting F7. Yes, but it's more of the scenario will be more, or it will revolve around a business transaction. Also, corporate reporting obviously had business transaction as well, right? But the point is that the language that the corporate reporting examiner, in order to ask whatever requirements were there in order to examine you, was different from what the SBR examiner uses. Okay. Plus, SBR, the scope of the paper has changed a lot. Okay, it's become much more technical. Mainly because I'll tell you why. It's because as a student, you will have to explain your accounting treatment, not just plus, minus, multiply, divide, not that. Okay, that's like anyone can do, right? Everyone or anyone knows what's on a debit side, what's on a credit side. That's simple. But to explain, to justify, to discuss, to argue, to comment, to criticize a particular transaction, particular accounting entry, this is different from what corporate reporting examination had. So SBR altogether is a different scope, it's a different scenario. Number one. Now, the point is, first thing that we look at the detailed syllabus guide that ACCA provides us. Okay, and then obviously I'm going to talk about how we'll prepare. I'll give you accounting standard guide and everything. You'll obviously have all these things with you as a resource. Okay, now this is basically, if you see, it's from September 2021 to June 2022, right? Now you've got all the detailed guidelines which we look at. Mainly we look at the syllabus and the detailed study guide. Okay, section 10 and 11. So this is your chart or graph with regards to how it affects your what it brings to you as as a student with respect to academics as well as practical element, right? The syllabus, again, I would say that I'm not going to say that it's exactly in advance of financial reporting, because financial reporting and SBR, students of financial reporting, if you come into SBR, you'll see that there's a huge gap, not just in the content, not just in the standards, not just in the content, but in the way to approach the examination. Okay, financial reporting is Obviously, now I can say, because you all are SBR students, I can easily say that FR is very easy, okay, as compared to SBR. If let's say, let's take a benchmark. If SBR is 100, FR is what, 30, 40, something like that. Okay. So yes, there's a lot of struggle in SBR, but again, it's the way. I'm not only gonna teach you the content, I'm gonna teach you how to learn as well. Okay. So you're gonna learn how to learn over here. Simple as that. Okay. So it's very important for us to unlearn the strategies of learning, preparing, practicing, and everything that we used to have for the fundamental levels, right? Because fundamental level is way different from professional. Professional is like, it's healthy. It's obviously it's competitive. It's complex, but it's healthy complex. Okay, it will challenge you to a different extent. All right. Now, if you see, you have ethics is part of all professional papers. Okay, and even for the fundamental level, there is some element of ethics in each and every paper. Okay, financial reporting framework, we know from FR, the conceptual framework and everything. Reporting of financial performance of range of entities, revenue. You've got IFRS 15 non-current assets. You've got IS 16 other non-current assets. Let's say IS 38, IS 40, and all these standards coming from FR. Okay, if you've got financial instruments, IFRS 9, IS 32 to a very good extent as compared to FR. Leases, lessor accounting is being taught. It's taught in SBR. Okay, employee benefits is a new stand for you, IS 19. Definitely, it's a new standard. Income taxes, you all know, IS 12. Provisions, contingencies, IS 37. Events after reporting date, IS 10. Share-based payment is a new stand for you, IFRS 2. Fair value measurement, reporting requirements of fair value measurement. You guys know, by the way, from your FR studies. But there are certain other things to be discussed over here as well. Reporting requirements of SMEs. It's something new for you guys. Okay, financial statements of groups of entities. This is obviously group accounting. um, Interpret financial statements of for different stakeholders. I would say that it's the same as FR, but the testing methodology is different. Okay, definitely it's different. All right. Then you've got discussion solutions to current issues, the most important thing in SBR, which you don't get tested in FR. All right, this is the most important thing. Use of computer technology to efficiently access and manipulate relevant information. This is a new area that the examiner has included in almost all papers. In fact, all papers. Okay, employability and technology skills. Right. Detailed study guide. This is like the entire thing. What will be tested? What can be tested? What's in the syllabus? What's not in the syllabus? For example, IFRS 9. There's a hedge called money market hedge. That's not part of the syllabus and all these things. Right. So this basically helps us understand, if let's say if I'm teaching you a topic, is it part of the syllabus or not? If it's well within the syllabus, then obviously you have to learn that. If not, that means I'm not teaching according to the syllabus, or probably I'm teaching more than you should know just to pass this paper. Yes, for knowledge purposes it's all right, but again, if let's say you're giving any other paper along with SPR, it's going to become it's definitely going to become tough for you. Okay, that's one thing. Employee benefits and all these things, these are basically the entire detailed topic by topic, or whatever is and a thing over here that you need to know is, yep, these are all the things that we're going to obviously look at one by one. G, like I said, employability and technology skills is something new that has been incorporated in all papers, not in SBR only. Summary of changes to SBR. Now, guys, remember this section G is something that has explicitly been incorporated in the syllabus. It obviously was there previously as well. So for those, if you are attempting this paper second time, you don't have to worry about it. There are no significant changes until unless there's a change in an accounting standard or the conceptual framework or any other particular current issue. Obviously, current issues have changed. Okay, which I'm going to look at. I'm going to tell you about it later on. Amendments to SBI International section, subject area, and syllabus content, fundamental, ethical, and professional. This is basically a summary guide. You can. I don't use this. I Even my students don't use this for reference, but you can, if you want, you can use it just to identify where the changes have been made exactly. Okay. Now, this is basically your detailed syllabus, a document that is there on ACCA's website as well. Okay. Um, for those who like to know more than the syllabus, for example, for those who are interested, let's say in those who are research based students, I categorize them as research based students. Why? Because they always like to know more than what's in the syllabus for their knowledge. So if you're one of them, you don't get tested on interpretations, be it SICs or IFRICs, right? Yes, there are certain exposure drafts which are current issues. They do get tested for sure. Obviously, I'm going to teach you about them during the class, right? Just to summarize for you guys, this is what the accounting standards in our SBR syllabus look like. Okay, I've made a key for you guys, A, B, C. A is the topic that requires complete knowledge, theoretical, application, both. B is the topic categorized as that requires only, working knowledge. That means you will get simple numbers, or simple means that you will get numbers or, workings, and you just have to do them and move on. All right. C, on the other hand, is something that requires basic knowledge. Okay, basic means that if it comes up in the exam, just to get the marks, 1 or 2 marks, 3 marks, 5 marks, you're easily able to explain. Okay, explanation does not mean the detailed uh, criticism on it or discussion on it. No, or even explanation on it. The term explanation, when the examiner uses explanation, explain, that's a different story altogether. Okay, but just to present your view on it is what C is about. Okay, IS1, you can easily just, I'll give you like 2-3 minutes, just go through this, because obviously for you guys there are certain standards that are relevant, because you guys are coming from FR, right? Or you probably studied FR some time back or something like that. Okay, so these are this is pretty much what it is. The key that I've created is based entirely on the past papers. Okay, past papers, and uh, s- the examiner's guideline as well. Because when you attend an exam when you attend an examiner's session, they usually tell us where the students lack a lot. And it's this guideline is not as per, I wouldn't say, if something is categorized as A, it does not mean that it will be tested in every attempt. Okay, it means that you definitely need to know in and out of that topic, not just the crux of it, not just the spirit of it, but in and out, everything. Okay, that is in the syllabus, obviously, right? So this is why I've made this key for you guys. So just take 2 minutes, analyze it, see if you have any questions, ask me, and then I'm going to move on to how we'll go about with the syllabus. Okay, now, how will we go about it? This is very important to know, because obviously you as a student should know how I teach, right? These are my Excel based notes that you will get. Okay, one by one, obviously, because let's say IS1, IS2, IS8, IFRS 13, then there are certain questions that we did, then IS19, IFRS 2, IS12, IFRS. I'll just show you the notes. In fact, these are very, this was given recorded in the last attempt, so this was also given recorded. So these are, let's say, and by the way, you don't need to worry about it. IS8 and IFRS 13, I do have notes. Okay, so don't worry about that. Like Excel based note, not separately. I have Excel based notes of these. The reason why I prefer Excel is because, let's say we do IS19 over here, right? And plus you need to have Excel knowledge now in order to pass the paper, in order to even attempt the paper. Okay, so like we do the kit right after the questions. Okay, so this is IFRS 2, right? These are all the notes for IFRS 2. Example questions are along with it. These are all example questions that I've done, right? You'll see blanks over here. These are all example questions. Okay, these are all example questions. um, IS 12, this is all IS 12. Okay, IFRS 15, this is IFRS 15. Revenue, these are all the standards you know about, special other than IS 19 and IFRS 2, right? So IS 12, IFRS 15, these are standards you know about. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5 for IFRS 15. Leases, these are all the notes for leases. You have lessor accounting separately over here as well. You've got lessee accounting, right? uh, what exactly is a lease and everything, all definitions according to the accounting standards and all these things, right? So obviously these are a few notes. IS 40, IS 16, IS 41, all these standards, IS 37, 38, 36, IFRS 5, all these standards are in the same format. Okay, so just to see, this is how we do the practice, right? My strategy is always to do one standard and then kit questions and then move on to the other standard. Reason being, I just don't want you to have the theoretical knowledge of the standard. I want you to get or acquire the application based knowledge there and then. Yes, there are certain standards which do not have like specific questions allocated to them. They're tested or they're examined along with other standards. So for that, for questions like those or for standards like those, we'll obviously do other standards along with those standards. Let's say IS 8 is not tested like in isolation, but yes, it could be tested with other standards. IAS 10, events after the reporting period, is not tested in isolation, it's tested with other standards. So technically what we do is, when we study those standards all together, that is when we do the kit questions. But yes, the thing is that I won't overburden you with the, let's say the entire content, and then after 5, 10 standards, 7 standards, we're doing a kit question. No, not like that. There's a way of, obviously I've been teaching this subject for the last 6 years now, 7 years. It's seventh year, right? So the thing is that it's all systematic, right? And plus, if you guys want, I will obviously let you know the order of these standards as well. This is not an order, by the way. This is an order as to how the order of issuance, right? IS1 obviously came first, and then all the set standards. But the point is that if you want to know how we'll go about, the order in which we'll go about with the standards, I'll let you know as well. All right. So this is how we practice the questions. This is, let's say, IS 38, no, question 38, sorry, of the examination kit, question 21. No, it's not there. I don't know why it's not there. Um, Anyways, so this is how we will go about it. Now, the resources other than my Excel based notes that I expect you to use, okay, that, number one, if you read the book, okay, just keep me in loop. Book reading, I believe, is very important. Book reading, I believe, gives you um, a lot of information for those who have come across trainers and lecturers and teachers who tell you that you don't need to read the book just because my notes are enough. um, I don't know why they say that. If that was the case, they would have written the book. Okay, if they were, that good, they would have written the book themselves. Simple as that. That's there's no there are no lies about it, right? It's very simple. If they were as good as Kaplan BP, they would have written a book. Okay, but they didn't. So book reading is always recommended. It's important, yes. If you have, let's say, a very strict routine, you have a family to look after, you've got a job and all these things, then yes, there's no doubt that my notes or anyone else's notes are enough to pass, even to score highest achievement, right? Even to score the highest achievement, notes are enough. There's no doubt about it. Okay, whatever we do in class, that's more than enough to get the highest marks. Not just to pass, to get the highest marks, there's no doubt. But like I've said, I would rather prefer to teach research based students than to those who just you know follow the footsteps of what's being told. You need to do something out of the box. Simple as that. To get good marks, to pass, you just have to follow my footsteps. Simple. Okay. Whatever you need to do out of the box, obviously I'll tell you as well. The point is that book reading is important. I would recommend it. Technical articles, there are certain articles that you will go through with me um, during live class only, but there are certain articles that for example, articles on certain standards which I'll tell you to read it on your own. Bring issues to me and we'll discuss in a live class. Okay. Third, there's a resource called cpdbox.com. Important. It's a website basically. There's a woman called Sylvia, right? She's an FCCA. She's a very smart woman, right? She's successful in the field of accounting and auditing. She's written numerous articles. Um, I would say, I wouldn't say any animated, but it's like they have little cartoons in them just to show, just to enhance the learning perspective. Okay, so I would recommend that you go through cptbox.com. When you open CPT box, I'll just show you in a bit, in fact. So this is CPT box, right? I want you to go over here, articles. And these are like all the articles that you can see on agriculture, IFRS 9, how to prepare financial statements when going concern does not apply. Basic accounting concept, going concern, right? When it does not apply, how to prepare the financial statements, how to present restricted cash. And this is a very good article, by the way. I would recommend you guys read it. It's apart from SBR, it's a very good standard, right? A good article, sorry. How to account for investment in gold under IFRS. It's a very good standard, right? Whether it's an intangible asset, whether it's supposed to be treated as financial instrument, what exactly is it? Okay. So these are all the impairment tests in the COVID-19 pandemic, right? You know about impairment test I-36. Everyone knows about it because you guys have obviously done FR. So this is also a very good article. Can you capitalize demolition cost under IFRS, right? So when you demolish a building or something like that, do you need to capitalize it under IFRS? Yes or no? The debate is there. Arguments are presented. Valid arguments, like very logical arguments, are presented in this article. I'll call out the name to this website again, cpdbox.com. A very good resource for all research-based students and for obviously other students. I would obviously recommend that you all try to become research-based students because it will help you a lot, not just to pass SBR, but even in practical terms. I guess you guys have heard about Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett says that if you want to become a good investor, apart from having, he does not, by the way, commend the IQ. Okay, he does not talk about IQ at all. He says that an average IQ person can easily become a great investor, not even a great investor. Okay, investor means you basically invest in companies and you make money out of it, right? So there are two things that he says that you need to have, that you need to know in order to be a great investor. You need to know this. Money management skills and all these things is obviously they're like implied. Okay. Two things, accounting and taxes. If you know this well, you can easily become a great investor. I'll tell you, I'll prove it to you just in like two minutes. Just give me last 2 minutes and then we'll end the class. 2 minutes and I'll prove how accounting basically is needed to become a great investor. Just go and read about Warren Buffett. He reads a lot of annual reports. Annual reports, yes, there's a chunk of financial statements, but that is the most important chunk in the entire annual report. Annual report obviously has other things as well: chairman statement, CEO statement, director statements, analytics, and all these things. There's no doubt about it. But investment in environmental and social projects and all these things with regards to a company, there's everything in that. But the financial statements, the five components of financial statements: SOCI, SOFP, SOCF, statement changes in equity, SOCI, and notes. If you don't understand what's in those five elements, you can never be a great investor. I'm not talking about trader. I'm talking about investor. There's a difference between a trader and an investor. Okay, so you can never be, never means never. You can never be a great. This is not like, this is a practical experience that I have. I've literally seen people who try to act as if they're good investors, but they don't even have the basic accounting knowledge, and they miss out good investments at the right time, at the right moment, and they lose. I wouldn't say, again, it's an opportunity cost, so they lose money, right? But the point is that accounting is the only way to help you understand what is being communicated to you by the company's management. It's like a language, just like English. It's like a language, right? Accounting is what is used by the management to communicate with the shareholders, to communicate with the investors, to communicate with the stakeholders. And if you don't know that language, if you don't know French, how will you read a French book? You cannot. Similarly, if you don't know the core accounting, it's, yes, to you it would seem like it's as if it's English written or numbers written, but without knowing accounting, you cannot make sense out of those numbers, out of those words. Okay, that's why it's the most crucial thing to know. All right. Um, Accounting for cryptocurrencies, by the way, has also already been included in the syllabus, and it's a very important area. Again, it's essential. Why? Because it's probably the hottest topic there is in the financial world right now: cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, right? So we'll learn about that as well. If you have any questions, you're most welcome to ask. Otherwise, we'll end the class. As for the timetable, there are, I believe, 2 batches over here, so I will communicate you guys a timetable through WhatsApp. Any questions, guys? None? Okay, that's good. If you have any questions, you obviously have my WhatsApp number as well. If you don't have my WhatsApp number, you can ask for my WhatsApp number from the administrator. All right, perfect. So I'll see you guys in the first class. We will start with the basic conceptual framework, and I'll make you revise the accounting concepts as well. Accounting concepts such as prudence, accounting concepts such as substance over form, such as accruals, such as going concern. We'll go through this, and with regards to going concern, when I'm doing going concern, I'm going to show you this article as well. My classes are usually, when I'm almost always in a good mood, so my classes are very comprehensive. But when I'm in a bad mood, for some, not obviously you guys, but for some other reason, which is like 2% out of 100 classes, it's like 2 classes, right? I would probably end the class in a very summarized manner. Okay, I'm being open about it because that's the truth. But that's just, it's I'm telling you guys this because it can happen with anyone, and it's like you as students should know, right? So that's one thing, and plus it rarely happens. That's why I'm pretty open about it, because it does not affect my classes even a bit. All right, so it's going to be discussion based classes, by the way. I expect you guys to obviously not put yourselves on unmute. Don't unmute yourselves if you know that you have background noise or anything like that. But I expect the class to be responsive, right? It's much. I would say it's easier to learn when there's a discussion rather than a lecture going on, right? So that's my approach. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the first class. You guys will get your timetables by tomorrow morning probably. Okay, take care guys, goodbye.